Okay, so we're not quite done talking about He-Man just yet. Just yet. I got a couple of things that I want to go over. First, let's just go over some of the articles covering this. And I want to tell you why I'm going to talk about He-Man again. First off, articles like this coming out. What is fan blaming? And why are He-Man fans mad at Kevin Smith? Another article going over why fans are garbage, basically, because, well, the gatekeepers over at Vice, who are complete hypocrites, by the way. I like to just show off this example because it's probably one of the best examples of just how hypocritical they are. Look at this article right here on the left, right? 7:30. This one to the right, 7:28. So they were published rather close to each other. And it really just kind of shows you like everything wrong. Like, look at this. The Olympic heartthrob is more than a hot bod. They're totally sexualizing this guy right here. And then on the right, we see these two women inside the disturbing subreddit that sexualizes photos of Olympic women. So it's like, okay, we're allowed to do it to dudes, but not girls. But this is kind of going off track here. Let's get back to. I just wanted to show you this because it's a good example of how full of shit these people are. But, they think no one notices that because they think you're stupid. Just saying. Just saying. So they're loving this stuff. They love it when they can go after fans. But this is just kind of getting off track a little bit. He-Man, I think, does more damage to Netflix than they realize, and that's because they're losing market share big time. I mean, look, this is what they get out of it. Screen Rant articles. Why Masters of the Universe is getting compared to The Last Jedi. Can we stop talking about The Last Jedi, by the way? I saw there was another article. Why are we still talking about The Last Jedi or something? It's because they want to talk about it. They're so bitter about that damn movie. The movie sucks. Sorry. Terrible, god-awful movie. But they're, of course, comparing to that. And you already know what's going on there. Well, I mean, why wouldn't they compare it? Because, well, this is another case of fans getting screwed over. But the point I want to make here is Masters of the Universe is just another subvert expectations, wham power, shitting on men thing, right? And I don't know how many of you out there have Netflix, but stuff like Cuties and all kinds of woke programming, they have quadrupled down on woke programming. I don't know if you ever saw it, but there was that show like Dear White People and stuff on there. Like all of their original programming is heavily like leaning in woke. For ones that are like not so woke, they still have like woke elements in it. They've really just kind of made this big push for it. And I really do believe this overabundance and push for like woke stuff has really hurt them. And it's really kind of starting to show. This has been going around. Netflix's slice of the US subscription streaming pie has shrunk 19% in 2 years. Now, I used to say Netflix might be too big to fail because at the end of the day, so this is like, we used to have VHS versus Betamax. And then I think there was like DVD versus HD VHS or something. I don't really know if DVD had much competition. But after that, there was HD DVD versus Blu-ray. There's always like a format war for what's going to be the next way we consume our home entertainment. Physical media, sadly, on the way out, which I think sucks. I love physical media. So, like, streaming is obviously going to be where things go. And there's too many of them. Too many streaming services. You got like Apple, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Disney Plus with Hulu, Paramount Plus, NBC's Peacock, Discovery, HBO Max. Like there's so many of them. It defeats the purpose of cutting the cord, which is why a lot of people jumped on these. Like, people aren't going to get all of these. Now, what people have been doing is like an a la carte thing, and there's churn, and that's another problem. Churn, basically, is people will sign up, like the Suicide Squad came out today. So some people will probably sign up for HBO Max and then dump it at the end of the month because, that way they can watch the Suicide Squad for $15. And then, Disney Plus will get Mandalorian Season 3. People will jump back on Disney Plus, and then after they watch it, they'll quit. This is a problem for streaming as well But as far as people keeping a service, uh, Netflix, I just see little value in keeping as time goes on. All of their shit is woke. Even like they do these god awful anime adaptations. I saw they're gonna do Cowboy Bebop, and they're already talking about how like Faye, she can't dress like she did in the anime because that's not what real women look like. Even though there's millions, well, probably not millions, but tons of cosplaying girls out there that dress up as Faye, and they seem to fit in the costume quite nicely. But Netflix, they seem to think this is fine, but I don't think it is. Because they don't. Here's the thing: Netflix does not have a movie studio anymore. As these studios have started to take their content to their own thing, like Netflix relies more and more on original content and stuff because they can't really get a lot of movies anymore. Because all of the movie studios have their own service and they use their own content to boost up that service. So Netflix, they had an advantage and they have a lot of money and they're still doing okay right now with what they got in their stock prices and the cash on hand. So they can keep building up a massive portfolio of original content. But the problem is the original content is full of woke shit and nonsense, and it's turning people off. Now, there's a reason people say get woke, go broke. And you can already see it right here. Shrunk 19%. Their grip on the streaming market isn't quite as strong as it used to be. And I'm not so sure if they're going to be one of the last streaming services standing. I think 4 or 5 will prevail, and that'll be it. Because, I think that would come to around $60 if you got all of them. It's doable for most people. And, most people aren't even going to keep 4 or 5. Most people keep like 3. But I think there's enough to go around for 4 or 5 services to kind of hash it out and make it work. I just don't see Netflix, if things continue, I don't see them living after a couple of years. I don't see them making it unless they were to buy somebody. Like if they were to buy Paramount, for example, that might help them out. So let me go over this. It's not very long. A rising tide lifts all boats, but in Netflix's case, that may not be such a good thing. As more big-name streaming services have hit the scene over the last 2 years, Netflix's dominance over the U.S. subscription video on demand market has taken a big hit. According to new data shared by research firm Antenna, the key takeaway from their data is Netflix accounted for 29% of all paid streaming subscriptions in the U.S. by the end of June, down 19% from Q2 2019. Netflix's dwindling slice of the American streaming pie comes after the launch of newer services like Disney Plus and NBCU's Peacock and have cut into Netflix's first mover advantage. The chart below, courtesy of Antenna's latest quarterly growth report, gives a better look at the American SVOD market. Does this mean Netflix is on the verge of going the way of the short-lived QB? Of course not, but there have been small signs of the streaming heavyweights' stranglehold at home is loosening. For only the second time ever, Netflix recently reported it lost North American customers during the last quarter, 400,000 to be exact during Q2. The company added 1.5 million subscribers, mostly from Asia during the quarter. And then the rest of it is under a page. It's under a paywall, and I'm not paying for this. We got the gist of it right there in that little report. So Netflix is in a little bit of trouble. From what I understand, they had a death cross on Wall Street, and apparently that's a terrible, terrible thing to have. So I don't know. You keep making shit like this, and you want to say you want to say that this is good for the show. I don't think it is. This show has no rewatchability. You keep making stuff that just irritates people, turns people off. All this woke content is turning off half of the country. And I don't think that you can afford to lose half of the country. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.